MLB was secretly not letting players see the strike zone box anymore. And by secretly, I mean they just got rid of it. So when you go to the dugout, you get to check out how your at bat went, and it'll wait a half inning, right? So that there's not sign stealing, cheating going on. But then you get to see how the at bat went. And you're trying to see, the pitches and your swing and all of that. But you also want to see where the pitches are at. And there was a strike zone box there. The umpires asked MLB to get rid of that because they felt like players were using it to bark at them and say, hey, I just looked back last at bat. I mean, it sounds like a typical Todd father conversation with an umpire.
I got thrown out because of it one time. Go ahead.
For that exact reason?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So MLB gets rid of the strike zone box this year. Doesn't say anything, which is a violation, apparently, of the collective bargaining agreement, which MLB PA, the players union, pointed out. They filed a grievance. They settled here and gave it back. But the way that they found out, of course, was you're going to be shocked on this. Players complaining to their superiors or their constituents, their colleagues, whatever, at the PA saying, hey, notice that we can't see the strike zone box anymore. You didn't tell me about that. They're like, we weren't told about that. So here we go. And now it's back. It'll be back for all teams if it hasn't been back already by today, by Friday's games. But nice little sneaky move for the first few months of the season.
My question is, how are you allowed to do that if it's not you're not allowed? Like, the agreement is there for a reason.
Correct.
And MLB can easily do it. I feel like this isn't the first time that they've done stuff like this. Something as simple as taking a box away. Hey, just so you know, we're thinking about taking a box away. And of course, Tony Clark would have said no. Something really simple, like, so you know where your strike zone is. It's not only people always think, oh, these players are complaining too much about it. Well, that's part of it. You want to know, but the other part is you want to know exactly where that ball is in case you go up there again, understand it. I need to swing at this pitch if he's calling it 2 balls off the plate, if he's calling it low, if he's calling it high, in and out. You want to understand where his zone is. So when you go back up there and he makes a different call on the same pitch, you're like, hey, man, can you tell me where you're at today? Because I have no clue. And that's just being honest with an umpire. So what's going to happen to MLB? Scott, Erik, nothing? We just move on because they basically. How are they allowed to get away with that?
Well, no, they did a settlement before Kratz jumps in. So they settled before it went to a hearing because that would not have gone well for MLB. You can't just take that away, rip that away. So the resolution was that in bold letters, they sent a memo that the league and the union want to emphasize that players must use those dugout tablets and all video feeds provided solely for their intended purpose, which is to assist players with on-field performance.
That's the solution.
That's what they're for.
Yeah.
That's what they're for. They're for on-field performance. We're trying to put the best product out there. This is a disingenuous move by MLB because these contracts, this CBA, is collectively bargained, and it's an agreement between MLB and players. And it's supposed to be a good faith agreement that, okay, we want this, you want that. Here's the middle road. Okay, we want this, all these things. Why do they have to stay at a 5-star hotel? They don't need, it's collectively bargained. Every hotel has to have room service 24/7 so that players can have food. This has to be, everything is collectively bargained. And then they breach that contract.
So forget about taking it. Why not take it to a hearing? I mean, listen, it's something really little. I get it. People are going to be out there. Well, why are you guys stressing over this? This is poo-poo cock. It's terrible. But at the end of the day, little things turn into bigger things. You take an inch, you want a mile. You want a leg, no, you want 2 arms. At the end of the day, these are little things that MLB thinks they can just do what they want. And for me personally, you want to know where the zone is. You want to know where the umpire is. So, yeah, I have gotten thrown out because of it, because it was 2 or 3 calls that one of the umpires missed. And I looked at him, I said, you missed it by this, you know what? And he threw me out. Scott, you saw the paper in the bathroom. It was a good one.
Yep.
And that was it. Grabbed a couple brujas when I got inside and watched the rest of the game. We ended up, actually, I don't know if we won. So I'll have to go back and look at that.
Now there's stricter penalties, though. So players who use a dugout tablet to embarrass, denigrate, or question the impartiality or ability of an umpire will face increased penalties going forward. They're subject to
I'm fine with
ejection
that.
and can be fined between $2,500 and $7,500 for a first-time violation with progressive discipline from there.
So MLB won again. That's MLB winning. So they
Because
basically
what's
did
the
this.
punishment on the other side,
Yeah,
right?
why
Like,
is MLB didn't get punished for dropping the square out? So, look, we win again. So you want to argue balls and strikes again? Guess what? You're going to get fined even worse. So they won on both sides. Hey, got another one over on the players because guess what? This was our intent probably from the get-go.
and this is a third party, right? So you have the league and the players. This is the umpires, okay? And you correct me if I'm wrong, Kratz, obviously there's a lot of beef with players and umpires, but they're also not trying to just there's beef over the zone in many games. That's what I'm saying, right? You guys get into it about the zone. That's a debate almost every game. My point is they're still human beings. They're not showing up to the ballpark like, how can I humiliate this human being today? So if the league called the players union and spoke to the players and said, hey, listen, a lot of umps are saying they're really getting it. What do you think about a little bit of a stricter penalty here because guys are getting too aggressive with this? Can't you have a real conversation instead of just trying to be sneaky?
That's exactly. This is where the disingenuous part. This is where the I don't trust you part. And this is why baseball, the two sides are constantly just fighting against each other. You can't try to slide one over on them. Like, you can't sit there and go, "Oh man, like maybe they won't notice this. Maybe they won't notice it." Players don't come to the park to get on the umpire. Players come to the park to win a freaking baseball game in whatever way they possibly can. Umpires don't come to the park to screw over players. They come to the park to do their job. Are some of them good at it? Yes. Majority are good at it. Are all of them not held accountable? Yes. And this is just another case of them not being held accountable. Like, the umpires, they don't want them to argue. I was in Pittsburgh, and the replay room would call down every time they would miss a strike. So every time the ball was outside of the strike zone, somebody would call our dugout phone and go, loo, 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 and they pick it up and be like, nope, it was down. It was to the point where every time it rang, by the end of the series, the umpires were like, don't pick that phone up, Clint. Clint Hurdles kept picking the phone up, be like, yeah, it was a ball. Like, so it was a way that they were arguing it. They just told them to stop. It's humans with humans.
That's an epic story. Did you have any of that where they would give a call?
We used to, with the White Sox, they would ring down if they thought it was a ball.
Really?
And they finally caught up to it. And we actually got fined. I think we got fined $1 million.
No way.
I think it was
Whoa.
I think it was $1 million fine because we did it for like 3 or 4 games straight. And I'm in the dugout. I'm like, oh my God, there's another one. There's another one. And it was like the first, second inning. I mean, nobody's calling down to the bullpen to get somebody loose. Oh man, it was.
So they're saying you're not improper use of the dugout phone.
Yes.
And they could even say, oh, you're trying to steal signs or something like that, right? Like they could try and conjure it. No, they're just saying you can't make a phone call and be all over the umps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way: when the Dodgers and the Rockies and the Astros and everybody was relaying signs in from the replay room, MLB had no idea this stuff was going on because they had so many complaints about it, but they did nothing about it until there was like a formal investigation. Then they were like, oh my goodness, people were doing this? No, they weren't calling down because those are recorded. Those lines are recorded.
Right. So you know what's going on. Okay. That was good juice. I didn't know that part. You're getting the call. I can imagine you're the ump. You hear the ring, ring. Oh, damn it. I messed up again. So
it was good. It was a good one.
We have FT on the road. The next stop for us before All-Star is NASCAR. So we will be in Chicago on July the 7th to do a special FT from the big NASCAR roadshow that they do out there with the music performances at Grant Park. You've got Keith Urban, the Chainsmokers, the Black Keys, and many more appearances, performances. You've got Pierzynski there. Kipnis is going to be there. Alana is going to be hosting the show with them. It's 11 a.m. Central Time. So 12 o'clock East Coast time, a special FT on a Sunday, July 7th. Don't miss out on the epic weekend. Get your tickets now at NASCARchicago.com.
I wonder where you guys are going to be at, too. That's going to be...
Like
where they-
location-wise?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be good.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.